So that all sounds really great, Gee. So can you just go into a bit of detail then about each of those terms and what a candidate should expect when they go through the terms? So let's start with term 1. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So you'll get your timetable up front. You'll understand exactly what's required of you. So the first thing I will say is, if you are joining at term 1, the expectation is that it's a full-time commitment. Now, there is a degree of flexibility within the timetable. So you will know up front across the whole 3 months which days that you'll be required to either be dialing into a live lesson virtually, or if there are any in-person meetings to have with your development manager locally to you. So you'll know which days that those are going to be planned for. Otherwise, you kind of got your own time to invest in the learning, and you'll have your exams mapped out too. So we'll give you a timetable in terms of we expect you to have completed X chapters by this time, very much an interactive system, engaging videos, test yourself with quizzes. So the system is a brilliant learning tool. I wish I'd had it when I'd done these exams. Mine was very much flicking through a really heavy book. So very, very different learning experience, but a degree of flexibility where you can time when you learn throughout your day. And that aim is really to get you, by the end of term 1, you'll have 5 exams under your belt. And because you're going to be supervised with an SJP qualified person going forwards, we leave the last exam till you've actually had some client-facing experience, because the final exam is all about giving advice to a case study. So we find that once you've actually been out there giving advice, that becomes far easier.
So depending upon the route that we've decided is best for me, whether I join a partner practice perhaps as an employee or self-employed underneath that partner practice, or I have the confidence, and you've given me the confidence that I run my own partner practice. At that point, should I have left the profession that I was previously in and started with St James's Place 100%? So, for example, there are some academies where I can continue working where I am whilst I do the qualifications. What's the expectations around me and my previous employment situation?
Absolutely, really, really good question. So for term 1, as things currently stand, the expectation is you will have left your previous employment and you will be dedicated to this on a full-time basis. The reason for that is the pace of the learning. So we're doing an exam a month, a very short turnaround time. So the expectation is you're 100% focused on this as an opportunity. And of course, beforehand, we will have done some due diligence with you and understand your financial position and make sure that you're in a really strong position to be able to do that.
Fantastic. So if there were things like the lending you talked about, because I wanted to set up my partner practice, there is a situation where I could draw down to cover the cost that I would incur whilst I'm studying towards my qualifications and going through the St James's Place Academy?
Yeah. So if you're starting a business, we'll pay £1,000 per month over that learning period of 3 months.
Yep.
If you are joining one of our existing practices, it's a conversation between you and that practice in terms of what financial support they can offer you. But again, it's very much understanding your position and finding the right practice that can help you to the level that you need.
Thanks for answering that question, because it gives the listeners a little bit of reassurance at that point, because it was certainly going through my mind. If I'd gone through that process, I'd be thinking, hang on, if I'm going 2 footed into this right now, how am I going to afford it?
Absolutely. But then again, it's worth it because our success rate is 91% on those exams. So by dedicating your time on a full-time basis and really focusing 100% on what you're doing means that you can get through those exams really quickly.
Yeah. I echo what you said about I wish I had something in place. I did FPC1, and I remember I had a book of tapes, and I used to put my tapes on as I was walking to work and listening to somebody just basically regurgitating the book to me. So let's just touch on some of the things that you actually offer within that space then around styles of learning. You know, I'm better at listening and watching than I am at reading. I do enjoy reading, but I absorb more information when I listen. So is there multiple different ways that a different learner could study under you guys?
Absolutely. And also if somebody has any learning differences, dyslexia, for example, we've got solutions for them too. So the platform that we use is Redmill Advance, and they have a whole range, as I say. So you can download something to your phone or to your iPad. You can print something off if reading is your preferred method. But there's absolutely video content on there. You can listen to things in a podcast. There's everything that you can imagine. So depending on the way you like to learn, you'll be able to learn in that way.
Absolutely love the fact that you touched on dyslexia there. I've come across so many financial advisors that are dyslexic. Yeah. It's definitely a profession. If you are suffering from dyslexia, don't let it hold you back.
Absolutely.
I've definitely come up against financial planners that are doing incredibly well. who are dyslexic, and you can do the job.
Absolutely, you can do the job.